What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, MATCHROOM CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn responds back to former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer, and his fighter, Special K, Kell Brook. Special K, Kell Brook came out, and he wasn't happy with the fact that he feels like Eddie Hearn is blocking his upcoming massive mega showdown with undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, and currently the WBO welterweight world champion, pound-for-pound king, Terence Crawford. This is scheduled to take place November 14th. In just a few short weeks, this will be happening. With that said, the fight will not be aired in the UK on Sky Sports, which is predominantly where Special K, Kell Brook fought at, nor will it be shown on BT Sports. No British platforms will air this fight. And Kell Brook pointed to Eddie Hearn being the reason for blocking the fight, because he stated that he negotiated this deal with Terence Crawford for at the welterweight 147 limit with him and his father, and didn't include Eddie Hearn. So he's stating that Eddie Hearn is salty about that and is blocking him from getting promotions and airing the fight in the UK, where it's his home country. With that said, Eddie Hearn has now responded to Kell Brook's claims. And Eddie Hearn claims that he didn't want any involvement because the fight was going to take place at the welterweight limit of 147. And he don't believe, get this, that Kell Brook could be successful against Terence Crawford at 147. Or any other fighter for that matter. He says that's not his best weight right now currently. And if he was to campaign there, he's not going to put out his best efforts or best performance. Wow. So Eddie Hearn is claiming he just didn't want no involvement with Kell Brook, taking his fight at welterweight, at 147. If you don't know, Kell Brook hasn't fought at the 147-pound welterweight limit since he lost and was stopped by now undefeated, unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl of Truth Spence Jr., back in 2017. He has since moved up to 154. He claimed that he cited that the reason he lost to Errol Spence in the first place is because he struggled to make that weight. So Eddie Hearn, is backing what Kell Brook said. Kell Brook stated that he struggled to make the 147-pound limit. He said if he could get a rematch with Errol Spence at 154, we'd get a different fight, a different outcome, right? So even Kell Brook admitted that, and for the past 3 years, he hasn't campaigned at 147. So Eddie Hearn is saying that he just didn't want no involvement because it's not going to be Kell Brook's best outing. He's just not going to give the best performance because he can't make the weight limit. Kell Brook stated that's all rubbish because Kell Brook stated that he has been in camp since March, preparing for this fight with Terence Crawford, getting down the weight. He says he's going to comfortably make the weight at 147. He says the difference is between now and the past is that due to the social distancing, due to the pandemic, he's been in the house, and he says that he just can't allow himself to get up that weight. So he's been focused on making weight, exercising and keeping his weight under wraps. So he stated that he will be able to make it the 147-pound weight limit comfortably this outing. So he says that he's going to upset the world, upset the apple cart and shock the world, should I say. So Eddie Hearn is in the same boat as Ingle, Kell Brook's trainer, right? Who stated that with such short time to try to get Kell Brook down to 147, he didn't want any involvement. So Dominic Ingle, Kell Brook's trainer, pulled out of the fight as well. So Kell Brook promoter Eddie Hearn don't believe that he could comfortably make 147 and be successful. His trainer doesn't believe he can make 147 comfortably and be successful. The only person on board is Kell Brook. So Kell Brook stated that, at least he believes that he could be successful, and that's all that counts. And he's going to shock the world, and everybody that, didn't believe in him is going to have to eat their words. He also stated that him and his Ingle didn't have a bad breakup. They had a mutual respect because Kell Brook had to focus on making his weight. So he had to go, to a secluded place to train and focus and get locked in. And he said that Ingle just wasn't able to do that. His schedule didn't allow it because he have other fighters, so he needed to stay close to his gym, his proximity, and he didn't want to uproot himself. So Kell Brook said he had to move on and go find another trainer to help prepare him for this fight. So the people around him don't believe in it. They don't believe that he could be successful. Carl Froch just recently came out, former multi-division world champion, British superstar boxer. He stated that this is a cash-out fight for Kell Brook. He believes that Kell Brook is taking this opportunity to cash out. It's not a situation where Kell Brook truly believes he can win the fight. The boxing world don't truly believe that he can win the fight. But it's a big money fight. It's a last gas fight for him to make some nice money. And that's what he believes. So he responded to Kell Brook, that is, responded to Carl Froch as well. He said he didn't even talk to me. He could have reached out to me. He knows my number. He says he knows my competitive nature. He says it's not up to me to sit here and go at Carl Froch because I don't. He's not sitting here personally. He said, but he could have contacted me and asked me personally what's my beliefs, what's my motivation for this fight. But he didn't do that. He immediately, went and made assumptions. That's just his opinion. So there's a lot of people that don't believe. This is why Terence Crawford didn't get the credit for this fight being made. Because, for one, Kell Brook suffered a major eye injury against Gennady Triple G Golovkin when he dared to be great, jumping up 2 weight classes from 147 to middleweight to challenge then the undefeated unified world champion who was top 5 pound for pound. And this is what Kell Brook stated, that he bailed Eddie Hearn and his company, MATCHROOM, out by taking that fight. They asked him to take that fight because they needed a big, high-quality, high-level, high-profile fight under their banner. So he said he dared to be great. He put himself and his career on the line for Eddie Hearn, and this is the thanks he get. So now he dared to be great. He did that, and he suffered a major eye injury, broke his orbital bone, and was stopped in the fight. Then he went into the fight with Errol Spence, and Errol Spence broke his other orbital bone, and he was stopped in that fight. So he was seen as damaged goods. Thus the reason why Terence Crawford is not fully getting 1,000% of the credit for this fight coming to fruition, because a lot of people feel like Terence Crawford is still in the prime. He's widely considered the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. And a lot of people feel like this is a cherry-picked fight for Terence Crawford. That Terence Crawford should be fighting the likes of a 2-time welterweight world champion, Showtime Sean Porter, or maybe even a WBA regular champion, Cuban superstar boxer, Yordenis Ugas, someone of that magnitude that's still active, still relevant. Kell Brook, like I stated, since the Errol Spence fight, hasn't fought a high-profile fight, has not been involved in a high-profile fight. He's fought tune-up type of fights, no disrespect to those fighters, but those are the types of fights that Kell Brook has been fighting, and those fights have been at the junior middleweight 154-pound weight limit. So he hasn't campaigned at 147. So that's why a lot of people are not giving Terence Crawford tons of credit for this fight. Yes, Kell Brook on paper is the biggest name in Terence Crawford's career, but as far as quality opponent, Kell Brook is seen as damaged goods. And look, his trainer doesn't believe he can make the weight. Eddie Hearn, his promoter, doesn't believe he could make the weight and be successful. So Carl Froch, the British superstars over there, the past legends, they don't believe that Kell Brook will be successful in this match. They think it's a mismatch, that he's at a disadvantage. And so, thus, if they're under the belief, you got to take a look at this. If Kell Brook's own trainer and own promoter don't think this is a good situation for Kell Brook, they think he's at a disadvantage, and they rather not even be involved. They're rather not even pocket or make $1 off of it. They rather pull away altogether, not even be involved, not even for a paycheck. This just goes to show what type of quality opponent Kell Brook is going to be for Terence Crawford, who's widely considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. If that's how they perceive Kell Brook, then imagine how the rest of the boxing world is just a cosign that the boxing world has already thought that Kell Brook is damaged goods and is not going to put up much resistance against Terence Crawford. Now, I do think that Kell Brook's competitive nature, his experience, him being a past champion, that will carry him in a fight to a certain degree, only to a certain extent. Because, like I said, Terence Crawford is very accurate. He's widely considered the best fighter in the world. I'm seeing Terence Crawford landing big punches on Kell Brook, and I can see one of those eye injuries reoccurring. If you look at his left eye in the interview, you can see it's still not 1,000% healed. You can still see the lingering effects from it. So, not to mention the weight issue to go along with the injury, the inactivity, and the fact that he hasn't fought high quality opponents is all going to play a major part. Now, does Kell Brook have the ability to shake up the world like he said? Absolutely, because he have the skill set. Will he is a whole nother thing. So Eddie Hearn responds and says that he just don't believe Kell Brook could be successful at that weight, and he just didn't want to be involved. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, or one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.